boys? It's time to go to the grocery store amidst the COVID epidemic. No, but for about to plastidip it, doing Slate Blue. I got to start with an avalanche gray base coat because the Slate Blue is a performance line, and you got to put the base line on before you put the performance line on. So the avalanche gray is basically the primer, and I've got that in the gun, ready to go. So let's get started.
So, got some issues with the first coat.
There's a lot of splotching because of where all the curves are and stuff like that. Got a lot of pulling up, but also the sprayer is way more powerful than what I used before. So I'm needing to use much lighter coats, which I'm doing on the other side. I had a real big run right here, and really the only thing I could do with it was wipe it off. Fortunately, it's the first coat, so I think I'll have 3, maybe 4 coats of the avalanche gray. So I'm hoping these runs will kind of iron themselves out, and then after the avalanche gray, then I put on the actual slate blue. So I think by the time I'm on the blue, hopefully it'll be pretty close to evened out. And if this is bad, I can always just peel the door and then just redo the door. So yeah. Anyway, that is coat 1. We'll be back for coat 2. Yeah, so first couple coats did not go well. One, the Pro Series sprayer is a lot more powerful than the regular one that I used before, so it's blowing out a lot of product, and I just got a lot of runs, pooling, and uneven spraying. So like there's a couple places that like I got uneven just because of the curvature, like here where it curves, it's like there's a thick amount here, and I think I've discovered that the best way to cover that is to actually spray this way, like from the back, from side to side this way. So I've got one more coat left, and then after that the gray will be done, and I'll start putting on the slate blue. So back for the 4th coat. So it's the final base coat. I'm learning a little bit about the specific car from this. There's a lot of curves and stuff where the paint pulls up, so I'm finding that it's better to go at it from a different angle. Honestly, if I could, I would redo the entire base coat, but I don't think anything on here is so bad that it will be obvious once the top coat is on. So hopefully I'll just try and do a really good job with that. Yeah, so there's the base coat. That's 4 coats of Avalanche Claret Gray. Next we're going to put on probably also 4 coats of Slate Blue. That's the first coat of Slate Blue, and I think I'm starting to see kind of where I was going wrong with the gray. I think I'm a little bit too far away, and I'm getting more of a splatter than an actual spray. And also, I'm guilty of something I was trying to make myself aware of, is not to move the nozzle left and right, but to move the gun, and it's easier said than done. So I'm getting a little bit thicker spots, a little bit thinner spots. So hopefully with 3 more coats, I can get this sorted out. But it's already, I can tell it's going to be a sick color. Looking forward to it. All right, well, let's let this dry, then we'll get the next 3 coats. Okay, so I'm finished. Had some issues with the sprayer at the end. The little nozzle at the end of it got clogged up and had just a bunch of crap coming out of it, and it was spraying giant globs on the far side. And it was, of course, the last coat and the last bottle and the last half of the last bottle. So while I was trying to do some touch-ups, so I tried to clean that out and then kind of wipe the spots down and respray, but it's no good. So I'm a little perturbed about that. Like, it was one session, 4 gallons, and it got that gunked up. So I'm definitely going to call Dip Armor or Dip Your Car and say WTF. Definitely some lessons learned. I need a much bigger tarp. You can't even see it on this side, but well, you can see it there. The green thing there, that's my tarp. Yeah, so definitely need a bigger tarp. Other thing I learned is that this hose while it is, yes, long enough to go around the entire car, it's really fucking cumbersome, and you got to be really careful because a couple of times, fortunately, it was in the first 2-3 coats of the primer, the gray, the Avalanche gray. You know, I'm pulling the thing around and it twists up and bumps against the bumper and like rubs off some plastidip. But that's taken care of. I'm not worried about that. Other than that, I think it went okay. There are definitely some spots that aren't that great, but I kind of knew that. I've only done this once before, and that was 5 years ago. And I just did it with a flat black, and I did it with a different sprayer. It's the same actual sprayer, but the motor. I got the Pro Series now because it's supposed to lay a better coat. It sprays a lot heavier. And that spot where I got the run here, that actually turned out pretty well. All right, here we go. It's the finished product. Had a lot of little issues. I decided not to do the peel when wet stuff and just score it with a razor, and that did not work out very well. You can see I've got a pretty jagged edge here, whereas because the razor it cut it, but it just didn't cut it quite enough, so it's kind of jagged there. I mean, the color looks good, and then here I think you probably see, yeah, like there's a glob there. This is where it was just spraying retardedness. And then the back, there's a kind of thick spot here. I don't know if you can really tell, but and I mean, I gotta see it here. This line is real bad. What I did was I folded the tape and drape under, like I lifted the hatch and folded it under. Next time I think I'm just gonna tape it to the edge and spray painting the dipping the taillights actually worked out pretty well because that just peeled right off. Which reminds me, I need to peel the reverse lights off, so I'll do that. But this side was definitely the best side, but I still had, a spot like here. Again, I should have done peel when wet right there. And also there's this like rubber thing here, and I should have taped over that instead of taping to this line. I should have taped to this line and then peeled when wet. I'm gonna try and clean that up a little bit, but I'm not worried about it too much because it's not a great job. So I'm just gonna redo the whole thing in probably a couple months, maybe a month, maybe a fucking week, I don't know. But I'm definitely gonna call Dip Your Car and ask why it started spraying globules like that. It was ridiculous. But anyway, there it is, dipped and as fabulous as can be.